Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. It's time to talk eBay. And I stored up a really good one that I want to share with you. So come on in. Let me know that you can hear me. Say hello. Let me know how your weather is. Very warm here in New York City today. Gosh, I would say like in the 80s, but we have a nice breeze. So that's good, good, good. I have my water bottle, so I stay properly hydrated. Hi, Alan. How are you? Good to see you. So come on in and get settled. And while you're settling in, everybody, if you don't know, I'm Kathy Terrill, and I'm a top rated seller on eBay. I've been selling on eBay for over 15 years. Hi, Sharon. Great to see you. Carolyn, come on in. All Kimberly, yay, Kimberly. I started very small, like a lot of sellers. I started very casual, had absolutely no intention of being a full-time seller. My situation was I was actually selling on QVC at the time. I was a product presenter, which was loads of fun. Really enjoyed it, learned a lot. But my mom was in failing health, and I was the only East Coast relative. I very much wanted to show up for my mom and go to all her doctor's appointments, and she was in the hospital often. So to be able to show up for her and do QVC just wasn't working. So I had a great talk with my husband and chose to come home and be home based to be able to take care of her. And just started selling odds and ends very casually to bring in some income for my family while I was taking care of mom. And did that very successfully for a couple of years. So I was learning eBay selling, taking care of mom, with a background from QVC because I had done that for over 6 years. And I'm in New York City, if you don't know. I had also done a lot of brick and mortar retail displays and merchandising, so a lot of retail experience. But again, very casual eBay seller. And then what happened for me was after my mom passed, I scaled my business because what I had found was I loved eBay selling. For me, it was a perfect fit. And grew and grew and grew my business. I am certified as an eBay education specialist, and I am a social media coach. I speak nationally, a lot of different platforms. I've gotten the great honor to present oftentimes with eBay staff. So I am the number one eBay sales and social media consultant. So yay, 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 and come on in. Hey, Susan, how are you? And what I want to focus on today, it's actually got me thinking, hey, Ladors, how are you? Is change. It always seems like something's changing, right? Something's either changing on eBay, and we're just like, oh, and then we have to adjust. And the change seems to come, not seems, the change comes much faster. This is true for e-commerce, eBay, and other sites. It's also true in social media. And I know as a seller, because our lives are full, right? I mean, for me at the beginning, it was like I'm taking care of mom and I'm doing my eBay selling. Now as I'm doing my eBay selling, but e-commerce is changing faster and faster and faster. Things that worked on eBay even a year and a half ago are not the best practice anymore. And the same thing for social media. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know. So my specialty with eBay, what I really love to focus on is eBay search. There's fantastic sellers out there who will give you tips on things to buy and source, and I will do that at times. But what I really focus on is your listing, eBay business practices, and how to get found by search, because you can have the greatest item, which is just wonderful. But if it is not an optimized eBay listing, and then some other things I'll teach you, your item has a harder time getting found. And if your item has a harder time getting found, you can figure this out, it takes longer to sell. Oftentimes when I'm working with clients or I'm working with people in my membership group, Social Media Insider, I'll literally spot a few things. And when they tweak that, there was one I remember, literally it was just one word that was missing. And when we put that word in, the impressions and the views they got on their item skyrocketed and it sold. So it's that thing of what is going to get my item found in eBay search? What is going to get it sold? And not just sold quickly, because that's always nice, right? But for the best price. And what you have to remember when you're selling on eBay, and sometimes I don't know about you, but I work on a computer. So I've got a nice big monitor with great lighting, right? Plenty plenty of room. So I'm looking on a monitor and I list on a computer, right? I always have my notes and things piled up, but I'm looking at a big screen. And the truth is, most people are shopping on mobile. They are on their phone, they are on tablets, they are on something much smaller than what most of us list on. And sometimes we forget that, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, well, it's there. Don't you see it? And it's like, yeah, it might be really clear on a monitor, but it's not so clear on the phone or on the tablet. So my number one tip, say that one fast, is you don't need to do this all the time. Maybe once a week. And it doesn't hurt to have friends or relatives also do the same thing for you. But I would say once a week. Just and again, this can be hard because we sort of know what's in our listing, but about once a week, pick a main category for you. What do you sell most of? Or what are your higher ticket items? Or something that seems to be stuck, like this thing should have sold, a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. Why isn't it selling? Pull the listing up. Look at it on your phone. And this is where you got to slow down because, again, we know what the item is. Look at it. Is the picture in focus? Sometimes it's not. Again, we just do it so quickly because we're on a roll and we want to get the listings up, right? And that first picture, and your first picture, by the way, is called your hero image. Okay, so the first picture on your listing, and again, it may not seem like such a big deal on a computer, but on your phone or on a tablet, it's a very big deal. It's the main picture. That's what grabs the customer's attention. Look at it. Can you tell what the item is from your picture? I shop on eBay almost every day. Sometimes there's really weird crops on items. Like it's a dress and I can't see the bottom of the dress the way they've cropped the picture, right? Or they're cropping it from the middle down. Now, if they're doing that to show the detail, because what they feel is the really most compelling part of the dress is the pattern, and that's fine to do that sometimes, because if it's a well-known style, like it's a fit and flare or an A-line or a shift, I may choose to lead with the pattern. I want to show off the pattern, the eBay logo as the first shot, the hero image, and then maybe the image of the entire thing for the second image. That's fine. But not when it's a weird crop. Like I'm seeing the dress, but I can't see it from like mid-thigh down. It just means I didn't do the image square, or I didn't look at it, or I didn't realize it was cut off. Again, a lot of times this can be because we're rushing. So double check your first image is important. And again, if it's a $9.99 item, I don't want you spending an hour on this, okay? Right? If it's a $99 item, we spend a little more time on this, but look at it. Can I tell what it is? For instance, with a board game, the box can be great, like it's a Monopoly game or Scrabble or Parcheesi. It's great. But what you might show for the hero image is you've taken the lid off the box so I can see what it is. The box is open and I can see the pieces. Or maybe I have fanned out the pieces in front of the open box. Do one shot so I can see everything. Because in the flow, this is another reason to be checking your listings on your phone or your tablet. What I see is closed boxed, closed boxed, closed boxed, closed box, and then your listing open box. Because I can see that it's used, but I see all the parts. I'm thinking Monopoly. I see all the money. I see all the game pieces. It grabs my eye, and this is what you're after. You want to be what's called thumb stoppable. Thumb stoppable means when you're scrolling, it gets you to stop. That's what you want. Stop and look at my listing. So open box. It could be the pattern. If it's not, if it's just like a beautiful dress, I want to see the dress, right? And make sure it's in focus. And again, sometimes, it might be very clear to me on the big monitor, but when I go on that phone or I go on the tablet, it's not so obvious. So really, really, really look at your number one picture. Again, it's called the hero image. And go, is this thumb stoppable? Perhaps the picture I had for the second or the third or the fourth picture is actually more of a thumb stoppable. And just edit and switch and see what happens. If you get the sale right away, yay, that. You may do an open box thing and no, it's not really working. That first box picture was better. But particularly for things like games, or if I'm selling a set, let's say I'm selling Thomas the Train, because for my grandson, and I'm selling 7 or 8 DVDs of Thomas the Train. And I've seen people do this, and they just stack up the spines. Okay, I do see the titles, I get it. For me personally, I like it better when they're all laid out, right? Just the 8, so I can see all the titles, and I put it there. Because when I'm scanning through, because I know what titles he likes or what titles I like, I go, aha, great lot. When it's by the spines, you're getting me to stop and look, but you're making me work harder. That's my second tip, is don't make your customers work too hard. It needs to be really obvious from the beginning what it is. So again, the DVDs, I like to sort of lay it out, okay, rather than the spine approach. That works better. And again, the games, open it, lay everything out so they can see what's there. Because they're still seeing the name of the game, the Monopoly, the Parcheesi, Chutes and Ladders, whatever it is. But I can see everything. And again, it's that my picture looks different from 80, 90, 60, 40, 30 others. Why? Because I'm after being thumb stoppable. And that's what you're after. I want to get the customer's attention, get them to click on my listing, because then I've got a greater chance to sell to them. And it's very similar strategies for social media. In case you're not aware of it, use of social media has exploded with everything that's going on. People are checking on their friends and what's going on in their neighborhoods, what's going on in the world with social media. And number one, hands down, is Facebook. And Facebook is also wonderful for sellers. You've got 2 different ways you can use Facebook as a seller. You can use a personal profile or your personal page. And that's when you log in, that's your personal page, your personal profile. For me, Kathy Terrill, I post a morning meditation every morning. In the afternoon, I usually post a picture of New York City, is what I do. So I do a lot of pictures of my neighborhood, or if I'm traveling around, pictures of wherever I am in the city. I like to do that. Okay. Then I have a business page. If you're not aware of this, your business page is free on Facebook. There is no charge for a Facebook business page. So, but you do have to have a personal profile. They have to know that you're a person. And then you can open a Facebook business page. It's completely free. You don't need an eBay store to have a Facebook business page. You can have what's called a consumer account on Facebook, which means I'm just listing, I don't have a shop. Or you can have your Facebook business page be the name of your eBay store if you have an eBay store. And that's what's recommended, by the way. And this has so you can post on your Facebook personal profile, personal page, or your Facebook business page. The thing with a Facebook business page is that you will get analytics, which are really, really useful, and they are free. If you have a business page, there are various places that you can click and you can see what's the most popular. The other thing you can find out is what people are liking your page. Where are they from? Predominantly US, perhaps Canada, perhaps UK. It's going to be depending on what you sell. You'll also see what times of the day are most popular for your users. So it's really, really helpful to know who is liking your page. And the other thing is what time of day, they're on Facebook, because then I know when to post on Facebook. And this is another thing that just happened. So I do, I think I'm running like 4 or 5 Facebook pages for different people and businesses right now. And this is really useful because I can see trends that are happening for different kinds of sellers and different kinds of businesses. And I'm also in some really great Facebook groups for social media managers. And that's for people like me that do a lot of social media. And we get very into the weeds on different things about social media. And also we keep each other abreast of when there's algorithm changes. Algorithm changes when all of a sudden the search capability for that platform changes. Pinterest had one a couple of years ago. Facebook seems to have one every month. And there was a big change to Facebook algorithm that just happened in the past couple of weeks. And it's really interesting. So this is what I want to share with you is before, I think going back to like 214, 215, when you were on Facebook, and if you've been using Facebook for a while, you probably saw this. Posters were encouraged to use face tags, hashtags, both on a personal post and on a business post. And you'd see a lot of use of hashtags. Then it was like, no, we don't want you using hashtags anymore. So then people stopped using hashtags. Then it was, well, we want you to use a hashtag, but only one or two. That was like 2 years ago. And then they stopped that. They're like, no, we don't want hashtags. Well, hashtags have re-emerged and they help enormously with your search on Facebook. Just like your picture on eBay, your hero image can help you to get somebody to stop and to take a look at your post. Using a few hashtags can really help your post right now on Facebook. But like anything, just like doing an eBay listing, there's an art to doing it. There's an art to doing a Facebook post. And again, many times people will come to me. This comes up in my membership group. It comes up with private clients, which is, Kathy, I'm not getting the traffic to my posts. I'm putting things on my Facebook business page, or I'm putting things on my personal profile, but I'm not getting people to look at it, click. I'm just not getting the results that I would like to see. And this is what I want to say to you is you want to make sure that you're posting regularly. It's like a friendship, right? It's one thing when I have friends that I touch in with regularly, perhaps once a week or a couple times a week. This actually happened to me. And then it's something else where, I mean, somebody literally pinged me and it was on social media. And I had not heard from this person 7 years, 8 years. I mean, I literally had to stop because I wasn't sure who they were because I hadn't heard from them for so long, and I had to remember who they were. I was surprised that it was on social media. I was surprised that my post even showed up in their feed because we just don't interact. So that's the thing I want to say to you with social media is to be regular. It's that regularity because Facebook acknowledges and sees who's regularly on it, regularly using it, regularly posting it, and you're rewarded with more reach for that. So with your eBay listings, really take a look at your hero image. And with something like Facebook, because there are so many people on Facebook right now, it is like the perfect place to be posting your eBay listings, is you want to be sure to be regular, not just once a month or every couple of weeks, but regularly posting. And what's regular is going to depend on the size of your page, but do make it regular, not just when you think of it, or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, or like this person that got a hold of me 5 or 6 years. It's just like, that's not a good idea. It will help your items to get seen, and you've got to be seen in order for the person to click and in order for the person to shop with you. Okay.